Friends, thank you for listening to the Frederick Henry Show. And it's June the 23rd, and I have a couple of issues that have arisen in my mind, and it has to do with the arrest of people being arrested. You know, I think the American people may very well become very angry, and I know I'm becoming angry at the lack of arrest, indictments, and convictions of people who commit crimes. We start way back with Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Strzok, and all those people. I appreciate AG Barr, Attorney General Barr, saying we have to build a case. We have to build a case that will stand up in court. We have to build a case that's indestructible. We have to build a case that will win, and so forth and so on. Meanwhile, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Strzok, so on and so forth, roam around the world free as a bird, willing to write books, willing to be hired by CNN, willing to get big salaries, willing to make speeches, willing to attack the president, and through the president to attack the citizen voters who elected him. And these people are not indicted, they're not arrested, they're not prosecuted, and they're not tried. And that causes a tremendous frustration in the American people. Now, in juxtaposition, the Mueller investigation, without any reason at all, really, went after Cohen and found some reason, using Andrew Weissman as the pit bull dog, to go after Cohen and find some reason to throw him into jail. They went after Manafort, and they found some reason some arcane reason. They didn't bother with Podesta. They didn't bother with Biden's son, who were equally more guilty in a exponential of 100 times more guilty than Manafort of what they claim. But no, we go after Manafort and we throw him into prison, and he's still in prison to this day. And then now we're going to go to Roger Stone, an old man who fell afoul of the Mueller investigation, fell afoul of Andrew Weissman, and now he will go to prison in his old age. And meanwhile, Comey, Strzok, Brennan, Clapper, all these people, Rosenstein, all walk around free as a bird, because somehow or other we don't have the political will. We don't have the political will to arrest these people, indict these people, throw these people in front of courts, and get them into prison. Now, I know that A.G. Barr is a man of integrity. I know he's a man of honesty and a man of dignity, and he will not just willy-nilly, like Andrew Weissman did, attack American citizens, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, and the like. He believes in the rule of law, and he will use the rule of law. However, but just juxtapose this. Under the rule of law, Stone goes to prison. Under the rule of law, Cohen goes to prison. Under the rule of law, Manafort goes to prison. However, under the rule of law, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Strzok, Page, and all these people walk around scot-free. What in the world is wrong with this? The American citizen who knows that if they speed, they'll get a speeding ticket. The American citizen who knows that if they get in trouble with the police and they sass the police, they'll be handcuffed, indicted, and sent to prison. The American citizen who keeps the law, who obeys the law, who obeys the cop, who does everything he possibly can to be a good citizen, knows that willy-nilly, in an instant, in a minute, in a millisecond, he will be handcuffed and let off to prison. Do the cops, do the prosecutors, do the AGs, the attorney generals, do the DAs, the district attorneys, only pray, like a bird of prey, only go after the citizen voters, only the innocent people, and arrest them and send them to prison and feel good about it? Because that's what's happening, and it's very, very disconcerting, and causing a tremendous backlash among the American people. Now, right now, we have people roaming around the streets. They have a mask on because of the COVID virus stuff. They have a hood on. They have safety glasses on. From the videos I've seen, many of them are white. Most of them are white, college student age, roaming around tearing down statues on public property, federal property, city property, county property. And they get away with it. They just pull down a statue that people donated money. People, our ancestors, people before us, gave $10, $20, $50 to erect the statue to Andrew Jackson, to Robert E. Lee, to whoever it was. Doesn't make any difference. And they gave their money. They gave their effort. They gave their sweat and blood and tears. They erected the monument. And now these young whippersnappers, these young punks, these young bullies, these young college students trained in our colleges to be Antifa, to be Black Lives Matters. These are trained by college professors, college professionals, colleges like Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, all of these colleges. Shame, 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 shame on these colleges. And we should defund these colleges. We should take away their tax exemption. We should despise them because they are undoing the American society. I'm reminded, my dear friends, years ago, I heard a speech which startled me, which from a speech about Woodrow Wilson, who had been the president of Princeton University, and it became the president of the United States, and who initiated the League of Nations, which failed. President Woodrow Wilson said that the task of higher education, the task of college education, is to distance the young person as far away from his parents' values or her parents' values as possible, to distance, to disassociate, to cut the tie between the child and the parent so that the parent's values are not communicated to the child. That is, according to Woodrow Wilson, the goal, the process, the meaning of higher education. So if that's the process at Yale, Harvard, Dartmouth, Stanford, then do away with these schools. We don't need them. Don't send their children there. We don't need them. Let them live off their endowment. Now, that's another thing. These colleges were founded by good, law-abiding, American-loving, flag-loving patriots, and they founded their institutions. They founded their endowments. They gave them, and today they're worth hundreds of millions, of billions of dollars. And now the liberal, left-wing, Democrat-oriented faculty waste their money and use that money in order to promulgate and promote and to teach a philosophy, a civil philosophy, a religious philosophy, a philosophical philosophy that is totally alien, 100% distant from the founding persons who gave that money. Because you know what? These people never had to raise the money. They never had to lift a sweat. They never had to lift a sweat. They never had to do anything. Not one sweat, not one drop of sweat to get that money. They just live off the largesse of the people who at the revolutionary times and up to the Civil War and up to the First World War donated huge amounts of money because their values, they believed, were going to be perpetuated. They did not expect to be betrayed, to be Judasized, to have Judases in presidents, vice presidents, deans, professors who are Judases to the founders of their colleges and act as traitors and Judases to the people who gave them the money. Shame, shame, shame on them. And we must rise up. Ben Carson said yesterday something I think was very important. American people must lift up their voices. They must lift up their voices. They must speak out. They must not hide behind the walls of their homes. They must not hide behind their masks. They must not hide behind their hands. They must speak out. They must be bold. They must defend themselves, because if they don't, they're going to lose it all. All of it is going to go down the tubes, my friends, down the tubes, because we were cowards. The purpose of this podcast is to say, stop being a coward. Speak up to neighbors. Speak up to the people at the polling booth. Speak up to people who you like or dislike. Speak up to people who say travel down this path or another path. Speak up to those who insist you must wear a mask and you don't want to. Speak up to those people who say you must be locked in your home when you see absolutely no reason to be locked in your home. Speak up when people say you can't own a gun. Speak up when those people say you can't have an opinion. Speak up when those people say you can't gather together to have a rally. Whether it's a presidential rally, a congressional rally, doesn't make any difference. Speak up when those people say you can't go to church. Speak up when those people come into your church, tear down your statues, and break your stained glass windows. Speak up. Do something. Do something, my American friends. Do something. That's the point. The whole entire broadcast is about doing something. You know what? We can lament, we can chagrin, we can whine, we can cry, we can whine and cry and lament. Oh my God, if Obama. Forget that. Who cares about Obama? He's yesterday's news. Yes, he's an organizer. Yes, he may be behind everything that's going on today, but he's yesterday's news. Donald Trump is today's news. Mike Pence is today's news. Candace Owens is today's news. And back them, Black Conservative Patriot is today's news. Epic Times, the newspaper, Epic Times, is today's news. We don't need these other people. We have to back our own viewpoints, our own philosophies, our own people. Send the money back. That's the minimum, the very minimum. Sending money is the very minimum. But joining them, marching with them, speaking with them, walking with them, protesting with them, and stopping the carnage with them. That's what we need to do. And my friends, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it on Twitter. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on any social platform. You can do it getting out of your home, getting off your couch, getting off your chair, putting on your shoes, and getting out. No flip-flops, please. No, that's my prejudice. Folks, people in flip-flops who go out the door and spend 2 or 3 hours in flip-flops, I do not take them seriously. I'm sorry, I don't. Put on your shoes. Put on your shoes. Whether it's loafers or whatever, sneakers or some kind of slip-on, it doesn't matter, but a shoe. And that I take that seriously. I don't take the others seriously. I'm sorry, I don't. We have to get out there, my friends. We have to fight. We have to struggle. And we have to insist that these protesters, so-called, and these anarchists, so-called, and these terrorists, which is what they are, terrorists, cannot and will not succeed in America. And you and I must take every possible action to stop them. And the first action to take is to vote. Now, the voting in Kentucky is over. The primary is over. So we go to the general. We're all the way in November. And if you don't vote in November, if you don't vote for Donald J. Trump, if you don't vote for his administration, if you don't vote for the victory of conservative, patriotic Americans over craven Democrat spoilers, then you deserve what you get. That's how it goes. I hope it's not going to come out that way. I don't believe it is. But it could always, people are people, and people are lazy. Today, I read that there's 2,700,000 voters in Kentucky, of which at this point, at 6 p.m. on primary day, 110,000 have voted. 2 million plus voters, 100,000 voted. This is a level of apathy. This is a level of laziness. This is a level of taking everything for granted that is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling because it indicates the end of America as we know it. So, dear friends, go on your own journey. Look into Facebook. Look into this broadcast. Look into other broadcasts on these stations. Look into I'm lost for words. I'm totally lost for words, so I'm going to stop there. Okay, my friends, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm saying to you. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. and I'm annoyed, and I'm planning, and working daily